KCHW.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW-FM thanks God-fearing brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
And by Chihuahua Flooring.
Chihuahua Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chihuahua Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Del Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at chihuahuaflooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at chihuahuaflooring@gmail.com.
Programming on KCHW is supported by Parkview Senior Living in Colville, Washington. Parkview offers assisted living services for seniors, including care planning, help with daily routines, and meals served in the community dining room. Parkview Senior Living is located at 240 South Silky Road in Colville. Additional information is available at parkviewsl.com or by phone at 509-684-5677. Thank you, Parkview Senior Living, for your support of KCHW 102.7.
This is KCHW 102.7.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the KCHW Morning Show. It is Thursday, January 15th, all the way in the year 2026. We are here with myself, Chuck Ritchie, and my lovely co-host this morning. We have Gina Greenwood. Good morning, Gina.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday today.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, he was a profound person.
Do you know how old he would have been today?
I don't know.
Well,
but
we can look that up.
Yeah.
So Martin Luther King Day is that's celebrated on Monday, right?
I think so.
That's
People,
the holiday
because
that we celebrate.
that's like, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Because it's in the weekend and get the 3 days, but it's officially his birthday today.
Outstanding. So we're going to dive all the way into the conspiracy theories about him, everything. No, we're not going to do that today.
But you could read "I Have a Dream," which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, the speech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to meet his wife, Loretta Scott King. I got to meet her many years ago.
Wow.
And his granddaughter, I believe.
Okay.
Who's out there kind of carrying on his work. I was working at a hotel and they were doing a speech.
Oh.
And they were the keynote speakers at an event. And,
Where?
Lovely family, actually.
What
really,
town?
In Anchorage.
Anchorage.
Yeah. I was I was doing catering at the downtown Marriott, and got to meet her, and wonderful lady. I don't even know if she's still around with us or not, but
Not sure.
it was actually quite an event. It was pretty.
You were catering.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you're the caterer, a lot of times you sort of get in and get to meet the folks.
Right.
Yeah.
So were you the chef too, or you just
No,
were helping?
I was just
catering.
At the time.
Serving.
I think I was just a server.
Okay.
Just kind of getting into it.
But you get the hobnob. You can hobnob.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. That was always a fun job. Got to meet lots of interesting folks.
Oh, I'm certain.
Doing that. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get on in with the show here, and let's get on the weather and mountain condition report. Of course, brought to you by 49 Degrees North Mountain Resort. Looks like today we actually have a dense fog advisory. Of course, I just opened that up in a new tab, so we'll have to wait before we get back to the regular weather. No, I don't want your ad blocker. All right, so yeah, we have a dense fog advisory from today, or yesterday at 3:07 until today at 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just about over. But yeah, I did notice a little foggy yesterday. Man, I walked out right as it was getting dark, and you could barely see across the alleyway.
I know, it's so interesting to go, when you head south, Loon Lake is always like just socked in for some reason, like fog.
Oh yeah.
Always. I mean, not always, but when it's fog, that is a situation where you have to really pay attention.
Oh yeah. Have you ever been in fog that was so thick while you were driving that you just kind of have to stop where you are?
Pull over.
I mean, you don't even
Can't even see.
You don't even know if you're pulling over or not.
Right.
So you can't tell if you're about to run off the road.
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
Well,
And then you don't know if someone else is going to come up behind you and hit you.
I pulled into Heiko to grab a paper like I do,
Mhm.
and I couldn't tell where the driveway was, the official driveway,
Yeah.
right? Because it was just weird.
Oh, it was
So I
that
just-
thick?
Well, I couldn't tell, so
Yeah.
I just drove over the sidewalk because I miscalculated.
Just run over the curb. It's
Oh,
fine.
yeah, that's all right.
You got a Subaru, right?
No, I
No.
want one,
Oh, okay.
right?
I thought you did.
I have always had Subarus.
Yeah, yeah.
Four-wheel drive, love them.
Oh, yeah.
But I have a Hyundai my cousin gifted me, which is
Oh, yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
But it's front-wheel drive,
Yeah.
and it's just not the same.
No, I hear
Even though
you.
I have studs and everything. I am looking for a Subaru in the future.
There you go. There you go.
They're great.
Right on. Well, yeah, the fog. There is also a air stagnation advisory that's happening until Friday at 10 a.m. because we are under an inversion, a weather, I guess, a temperature inversion, a weather inversion, basically where cooler air traps warmer air down below. And what it really does affect a lot of times is, people burning their, people with wood heat, that smoke is just sort of not dissipating the areas.
So it just
Yeah.
hovers. It's like a little hover.
Yeah, and it,
So the air quality is affected.
yeah, the air quality is affected, and that's also what sort of creates that fog because it has nowhere to go. So one of the other things with it too that we were talking about yesterday was apparently in an air inversion it creates a weird pressure system, so you might feel a little funny, and also back to people that are using their wood fireplaces, sometimes it can actually blow back into your house and fill your house with smoke.
Oh, I
Because
bet.
it'll actually
I
make
burn.
it harder for your
Wow.
chimney
I
for your
burn
smoke
with
to
wood.
go out of your chimney.
Yeah. Okay, I have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Close.
So
Yeah.
I
Wow.
don't know how many people will be affected, but All right. So now with that said, getting over the nerdy stuff there. Today we have a high of 39 degrees with foggy skies, 27 degrees overnight with low clouds. At least we're starting to get down a little below freezing at night. We had such a warm spell there for a while.
It's supposed to be
Temperature-
warm for a while again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got some stuff towards the end of the month I'm looking at that are back up into the 40s. Wow. But
I know.
But we're going to have a sunny weekend. Tomorrow
Okay.
we have a high of 39 degrees, 24 degrees overnight. On Saturday, looking exactly the same, 39 and 24, again with sunny skies. Sun again on Sunday with a high of 38 degrees, 24 overnight, 36 and 26 on Monday with mostly sunny skies. And we're getting a few clouds rolling in on Tuesday with a high of 37, 27 degrees for that overnight low, and mostly cloudy skies on Wednesday of next week with a high of 36 and a low of 27.
Sunny, but it'll be
yeah.
sunny.
You know,
that's always good.
Even this time of the year, that's even strange for it to be warm and sunny. Usually this time of the year in the wintertime, if it gets sunny, the skies clear up, it gets really cold.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not even seeing that right now.
I know.
So.
Changing the whole atmosphere.
Yeah, and as I said, of course, getting towards the end of the month, I don't see any snow or anything in the forecast until it looks like in the 24th on Saturday. We might have just a tiny,
Little
teeniest
skiff.
little chance of snow.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing again until about the 28th and 29th at the end of the month when it's back up into the 40s and some more rain, maybe a mix of rain and snow. Of course, calling the weather out that far in advance doesn't really mean a whole lot because
Right?
it's always going to change.
The only constant in life is change.
Right? But yeah, it's definitely making a hamper on Winterfest. Being able to have Winterfest without having winter.
Right. And you had chatted about that. There's a little bit different. Maybe things are going to be more inside.
Yeah. We're gonna do the music's gonna be inside a tent. There are gonna be vendors out on the street, including yourself.
Okay.
And
I like to be out.
yeah. And
So the tent will be set up outside.
yeah, we're gonna.
But it'll be more warmth inside for the musicians.
exactly. We're gonna have some heat in there and put the sides up and be able to have a chance for the musicians to not freeze their tuchuses off
Right?
while they're playing. So
So the beer garden will be inside the tent.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna talk a little
Must
bit
be
about
a
that.
must be a big tent.
Oh, it's gonna be a big one.
Ah.
Oh,
Need volunteers to help set it up.
No, actually,
You got it situated?
That's one of the great things is hiring a service to
They do it.
the rental company.
They do it.
It's a much larger tent than I think any of us are willing or
Right.
capable
Well, that's
to-
great that
to
they
put
do
up.
it.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
And they do it much faster than we will.
Oh, yeah. They got it down. They got it down.
All right, so let's go ahead and head up to the higher elevations, see what's going on up at the mountain. Still not a lot of snow up there. I know they've been hard at work with those snowmakers running probably 24/7. I would imagine.
Right. I'm certain. Are you broadcasting tomorrow up there?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow we're going to be
okay.
doing the
I
morning
thought
show
so.
live from 49 Degrees North Mountain Resort.
That's great.
Yeah, we're going to be up there, and a huge thank you to Toyota. They're loaning us a vehicle to get us and the crew up there safely.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
so it's
thank you,
gonna
Toyota.
yeah, it's going to be a fun morning. Last year we had so much fun doing it, and
That's great.
This year I think we're going to get our audio quality a little bit better, and we'll be
You're
there.
on an adventure.
Oh yeah, we'll be there doing the thing. Maybe even have a little breakfast while we're there.
Oh,
Yeah, I know they do have. I believe their special tomorrow for breakfast is a. We've been told that we might get, what was it, cinnamon roll French toast. Yeah, so that's exciting.
I discovered a new restaurant in Spokane Valley because I went to see some elders. I went to a 100-year-old birthday for Helen Tron.
Nice.
It was awesome. And then the next morning, I took a friend of mine, Kathy, who I lived with before, and I found it Crimson Door. It's in the valley. And
I've heard of
it
that.
was so good. It's from a Denmark-based family farm, from back in the day. On the menu, it talks about all the energy of what they want. So I got a Monte Cristo. So it was creme brulee, egg batter with the Swiss cheese and the ham sliced thin, and then a side of the strawberry jam and some like tomato bisque. It was just really good. They are open for breakfast and lunch, and it has a really good atmosphere and super quality food. It was just really,
Nice.
It was very sweet.
I think a Monte Cristo is one of my top 3 favorite sandwiches.
I know. I hadn't had one in a long time. It was delicious.
I love a good Monte Cristo.
I know.
I think
And tomato bisque, you could dip it if you wanted. Or
Oh yeah, I like to do it in the fruit, in the jam.
yeah, I did. I
Oh,
did
yeah.
that too. Yeah.
I like
little bit of both.
I like about 50-50 jam and sandwich. Yeah. I think that or a the Monte Cristo or a Cuban sandwich. I do love a good Cuban.
Oh yeah.
Or a muffalata.
So they do everything from scratch. So yeah. Yes, it was
Nice.
pretty sweet.
Well, I'll have to go check
Quality, and they care.
Yeah.
On the menu they have a whole saying and energy about what they believe in as far as the farm food and keeping
Yeah.
it local and everything fresh, and don't get in a hurry, people, because we make it. We don't throw it out of the freezer and onto the grill. We
You
actually
can't
do it.
rush good food.
You cannot.
No, you cannot. All right, so let's get back up to the mountain here. We got 13 inches of snow at the base of the mountain, 22 inches at the summit. A lot lower than we would normally see, but at least there is a little bit. Hopefully some of this weather in the next couple of weeks will turn into a little bit more snow up there, at least, even if we're not getting any down here in town.
We need the snow for the mountain.
But yeah, come on, snow.
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's go.
Snow dance.
All right, and up at the base of the mountain, we have a temperature of 34 degrees, 35 degrees all the way up at the summit. It's actually, yesterday there was about a 20-degree difference. It was much, because of this temperature inversion, much warmer at the summit. Today it's only about 1 degree more at the summit, but that inversion looks like it's still happening. That's always a good measure. You look up at the mountain and see what it is at the summit versus the base.
Right.
Yeah, good visibility. A little overcast up there, but no rain or snow currently.
And I'm sure some of the runs aren't happening just because of the lack of the snow. I know they can make snow, but just be careful. Make sure you know where you're going.
Yeah. There's 57 trails are open today.
57, okay.
Yeah, 8 of those have been groomed. There's actually quite a few less than there were the other day. I think the other day they were up to about 70, but down to 57 today. Snow conditions are listed as skier pack snow with groomed snow. Let's see, and the trying to see here. There was something I was going to look at. I don't remember what it is, but it is pretty mild temperatures. They do say the cold snow and it's fun groomed trails this morning. So
they have live music up there.
Yep,
tomorrow?
live music. They have live music today and sorry, my brain is just not working today. Tomorrow and Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
From 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And I know we're going to be there, of course, with Craig and his band, who are playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Saturday is something with a monkey name. I don't remember.
Quarter Monkey?
Quarter Monkey.
I don't know if they played this weekend or last weekend.
Okay, well, that's great that they have the live music. It makes a big difference.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for that. Of course, 49 Degrees North Mountain Resort is open 7 days a week. For more information about trail conditions or events happening up at 49 Degrees North, you can visit ski49n.com.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is where we'd normally do our birthdays, but we don't have our birthday calendar yet for the year. we're working on getting one.
Well, always Martin Luther King Jr.
Right.
He's in the spirit world, but
Exactly.
that's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Martin Luther King Jr. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the school lunch menus. Of course, big shout out to our friends on Bus 13 on their way to school.
They always listen. That's great.
Right. I love it. So today, were you going to say something?
No, I think it's wonderful that shout out to Bus 13.
All right, so today on our breakfast menu, we have omelets and hash browns, or your choice of bagel, or a variety of cereal with yogurt, or your chef's choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go on to the lunch menu, and today we have your choices of a sub sandwich with tater tots. Actually, that's not a choice, rather. That's what
They
you get.
come, yeah.
Yep, sub sandwich with tater tots, and a fruit and veggie. Of course, all of those meal choices come with your choice of juice or milk.
Okay.
There you go. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the community calendar. There's a lot of empty spots on the calendar right now. It's that time of the year.
That time of year.
Yeah,
There was so much happening in December that you couldn't keep up.
You know, it was
Full.
busy from the end of summer through
Really busy.
the end of the year. It was just like one thing. Like every week, there was another big thing happening. It was hard to take a breath.
Were you able to see the singer-song series? Did you get to go?
I was not.
I really
yeah.
wanted to go too. But it's just, I heard it was wonderful.
I heard it was. It's always good.
It's always
yeah,
good.
it's always good.
Something about time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's in the Chihuahua Independent. Some pictures and some energy there. Yeah.
yeah. Unfortunately,
That was fun to take down the labyrinth with the community
Yeah,
last week.
yeah. Thank you for all the help
The
with that.
sun broke out, That was amazing.
It was.
More hands are good to have.
There were a lot of trees to move.
I know.
I think for next year, and of course with Paula's permission, we're gonna start putting the word out. If anybody has like one of those trucks that has the little boom arm, with a winch on it, we could.
You were like strapping on, like, oh, Will Rowe, Dr. Will Rowe. Thank you for you guys were. There's a lot of different people there that I don't know everyone's names, but it was great. More hands are good to have.
It was, and that, of course.
And they mulch it. I don't know what the commercial company, but Paula said that she had arranged for all those trees will get mulched and repurposed with the mulch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know the company's name that did that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
what the company name is.
But that was great.
Yeah.
Good idea to do that.
Oh yeah.
Honor the trees.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Were you going to try to get one or two of them? Did you get any
No,
trees?
because when she shared that with me, I just respected that that's what needed to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so yeah, we do have the Senior Citizens Potluck and Games that's happening today from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 3060 3rd Avenue in Valley. Of course, this is where senior citizens from Chihuahua Valley and Springdale are invited to join them on the first and third Thursday of each month for games and a potluck. That's from, again, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Valley Fire Department building in Valley. And have you gone out there to that one?
No, we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Like you and I go out there sometime.
It seems like a
I
fun
think
one.
it sounds amazing.
It really does.
Yeah.
All right, and then, of course, the Chihuahua Food Bank is open today from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at front of the Senior Citizen Center at 302 East Main Avenue right here in Chihuahua. And then Craigmire Karaoke, they're going to be firing up the machines over there at the Oasis. That starts at 8:30 p.m.
Tonight.
and goes until you can't sing anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I want to say that. It says 11:30.
They do a good job. It's fun. People
yeah.
people are pretty talented, of course, in our area with their voice.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, I sing only a couple songs, Bad Leroy Brown, because I just don't want to look at the screen. I know that by heart. But I usually dance around because it's fun to do that when I do go, which,
Nice.
yeah. But lots of good singers.
So we had a birthday party, and we went over there on Saturday night.
Who had a birthday?
Did some karaoke. My friend Keegan had a birthday. So happy birthday, Keegan. Even though
Over the weekend?
Yeah.
Excellent.
And
so you went on Saturday?
we went on Saturday. Leah B, of course.
Leah B,
our
yep.
Thursday night, Pretty Static. She's gonna be out tonight.
Tonight, yes.
I was doing some karaoke and
was
we did
it
some
fun?
songs. Oh, we had a blast.
Oh, awesome. So you sang a few?
I did. I did a Frank Sinatra song.
Oh, love Frank Sinatra's work.
The Coffee Song, of course, one of my favorite Frank Sinatra songs. And my wife and I together, we did Buttermilk Biscuits, an old Sir Mix-a-Lot classic.
That's fun.
And then what I did another one. Oh, I did Loser by Beck.
Okay.
That was one of my favorite karaoke
Right on.
songs.
That's fun.
That one at the end of the night.
So it was a good turnout for the party?
Oh, it was. It was, yeah.
Excellent.
We had a good time. All right, so let's move on to Friday then. The Chamber of Commerce meeting is happening at the casino from 7 to 8 a.m. That's at the Mystiquois Cafe inside the casino. 2555 Smith Road. I hope I got the number of fives right in that one.
Chamber donated some money for the PACA. It's in the paper. That's impressive.
Oh.
Like a lot, like a $10,000 check.
Wow.
It's on the front page right here, and then they've committed to also an additional $20,000 every few years. I'm not, or maybe within the year. I'm not sure, but
wow, is that for the renovations in the theater?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I know.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Chamber. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? They went over and they took that picture while we were cleaning up the trees.
I wondered about that because there they are. Everybody's there. It's a great picture.
That's phenomenal.
10 grand donation.
Nice.
Yes.
Thank you, Chamber.
I know.
That's
for
very,
the
very
next
cool.
stage of the expansion project, and they've committed to additional funding, donations throughout that year.
Well, the theater has been such a huge boon to the community.
Oh my gosh.
Since it
Yes.
started its and continue to be.
I know. And Sharon Ludwig is hugely like the
the
drive.
I could not.
She's on this council.
I cannot wait until that to see what they do at the theater and see when
it's
they finally
amazing.
get the rest of their funds together.
So great, yeah.
It'll be phenomenal. Wow. All right, so moving on to Saturday. This is a fun one. We actually had them on as a guest yesterday on the show. Finding Common Ground. This is a Finding Common Ground event. They are going to be at the Aaron Huff Memorial Cultural Center at 214 East Main Avenue in Chewelah tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
From 12 p.m. So
noon. Who are they?
So noon to 2. Finding Common Ground is a group dedicated to helping people in especially rural areas.
Mm-hmm.
It's a local group, so not rural areas, but our area.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of break through the current tension that we have right now in our society.
Yes.
People on both sides of the political spectrum, people arguing, shouting at each other all the time. It's a group dedicated to just kind of getting everybody to
listen to one another.
To stop and listen to another
How
one.
about that?
And
How about
start
that
having
idea?
conversations.
Yeah.
And, we got to get past this.
Exactly.
And it's going to take, it's going to take some communication, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be some work, but, we need to start getting along.
Absolutely.
And we need to
Agreed.
probably get off our keyboards and
actually have a conversation
and start meeting
face
with each
to
other.
face. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think part of their group is, they're having socials. They do
So
community
tomorrow night
socials and
at the
events.
Huff Center?
Tomorrow afternoon at noon.
Afternoon at noon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from noon to 2, there's going to be games, bingo. They say this is an opportunity to meet your neighbors, share good food, and enjoy each other. They're going to have a few minutes to learn about finding common ground, followed by some food, bingo, and then there's going to be some games for kids.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that'll be a good one. And they were a really great guest to have on
yesterday.
Lori and Scott. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, good folks. I've met them both quite a few times and really enjoy having conversations with them.
Good.
And their goal, like I said, is just to help everybody find some common ground.
Absolutely.
And realize that regardless of how much you want to scream at each other, we still have more in common than we
Humans have more in common than we recognize at times.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In the heart, if you live with your heart, that always helps.
Oh, yeah.
Compassion, not judgment. Try to be open-minded.
Exactly. We tend to probably have, at worst, about 95% in common, and we seem to let a few issues get between us.
Get in the way.
Yeah. All right, so then as we move along to Sunday, we have Winter Pickleball back at the old middle school gym from 2 to 4:30. That's at West 106 Lincoln Avenue. If you're not familiar with where the old middle school is, pardon me. They're doing pickleball 4 days a week
I
now.
know, that's what you...
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
And you have to be 18, though, which I think is... We talked about this, that you're at the middle school.
The irony.
Irony. It is totally ironic. Isn't it ironic? But yeah, well, I guess insurance, whatever,
That's the world we live in.
18 years old and up.
Yeah. But it's a great group of fun.
It's
a great
totally,
group of folks, and they have a lot of fun.
Everyone's just pickleball, taking the world.
Pickleball mania. I picture people playing pickleball in a big octagon or a ring or something with announcers and flames going up and pyrotechnics as people walk into the ring. Yeah. All right, so then Winter Pickleball, of course, back on Monday. We've got a few things coming up that we want to sort of highlight. Oh, I forgot one thing tonight. Tonight, happening. I don't know why it's not on the calendar. I approved it yesterday. But tonight, happening over at the brewery is trivia night.
Okay.
So, of course, this is one of the Chula Valley Land Trust trivia nights.
Nice. New owners.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think it happens the third Thursday of every month.
Okay. It's starting back up.
Yeah. Yeah, it is starting back up. So, and this is the first trivia night with the new owners of the brewery, who we're actually going to have on the morning show with us next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we get to chat with them and get to know them a little bit.
That's awesome.
Which I'm looking forward to. So, yeah, that tonight, I do believe that is at 6 p.m. over at the brewery is trivia. Teams of 5 people or less, and that is $20 per team. So, and that goes to benefit the Chula Valley Land Trust, who's responsible for all those awesome trails up at the golf course, and working on our local hiking trail system.
I mean, Patrick and Jake did such a beautiful contribute to our community with that everything they've helped post, and I'm certain this other family will be equally embracing that.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Thank you guys for everything you've done.
Absolutely.
It's sad to see them go.
I know they're on on a new adventure. I'm not sure if they relocate. I don't know, but obviously, new chapter.
Well, I'd love to catch up with them and see what they're up to. All right. So then as we move along, there's another one coming up later in the month, the 27th. So this is January 27th. This is the Chihuahua Wedding and Events Alliance conversation.
I remember you saying that.
And so what this is it's going to be trying to gather some folks together to help the wedding destination.
Right, Chihuahua's a great place for a wedding.
Here in Chihuahua,
yeah, absolutely.
And start growing.
So it's a meeting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a meeting for anybody that has anything to offer for weddings and events, and it doesn't even need to be specifically weddings. It can be any kind of event, whether that's music or. And
that's the 27th.
Where
is that going to be?
That's the 27th at the Aaron Huff Memorial Cultural Center. That's from 6:30 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
So it's going to be kind of a dinner time thing. I do believe there's going to be some snacks there, but
that's great.
Yeah. So it's going to be they're calling it a fun, casual, and collaborative brainstorm. They'll provide the coffee and connection. You bring the ideas, expertise, and enthusiasm. So the goal here is to walk out of it with a plan for the next steps and the energy to make the Chihuahua Valley the most sought after event destination in the region.
Ooh.
So yeah. So they're looking for all kinds of folks that have stuff to offer, and it's, you can get kind of creative in this.
Absolutely.
If you do calligraphy, for doing invitations or, any kind of postcards or any of that kind of stuff. Caterers, event planners, florists, hair designers, makeup people, officiants.
I'm thinking maybe just because I know how to entertain young people,
exactly.
It's always nice to have something for the younger kids to do at a wedding.
Exactly. Oh, I love that.
And that's where my approach will be.
Oh, and that's
it's a perfect thing.
Oh yeah.
And it's needed, because sometimes the kids, when they come to the weddings, it's like they don't have something to really engage in. I have all my my dancing sticks and all the fun stuff, and that's what I'm thinking.
Well, my stepdaughter's wedding, she had her friend Mara, who was entertaining. My stepdaughter's wedding, there were probably about 30, 40 kids there.
Right.
And she had this one friend of hers who was literally had kids attached to her like a
magnet
I know. The whole day.
It was
awesome.
Just so fun.
She had so much fun. All right, so then as we move along, I know there were a couple things that Paula and Sharon highlighted yesterday, but I honestly, I don't have those on my calendar, and I'm not sure what they were. But, of course, we do have Winterfest happening, of course, at...
on the 7th.
You just go ahead and have a seat there.
Hi, Nancy.
Yeah, we've got Nancy joining us here.
Yes,
we'll be
Nancy
with her.
McCormick. She'll be our guest.
Talking with her after the break here in just a few minutes.
Yep.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Winterfest. So, like I said, we've got a lot of... We had our meeting yesterday, and I believe there were over 40 vendors.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a huge turnout for vendors this time.
That's excellent.
And then we've got... there's kids' activities, of course, with you.
Yes, I'll be doing that.
We're going to have bingo going on. There's going to be vendors inside and outside. There's going to be stuff. I believe they're doing the reindeer games again at Bradley's Taekwondo.
And a good lineup for music.
Yeah, as well as having a few vendors inside Bradley's Taekwondo, inside the Aaron Huff Center. We've got some great... We're going with longer sets with less bands, just because in the cold and everything, doing the switchovers is a lot.
It's tough, yeah.
I'm very happy about all the music. It's going to be a great lineup.
And does that start like at 10-ish?
Actually, it's starting a little later. This year we're starting at noon.
Noon, okay.
So we'll have the opening ceremony at noon with our new Mayor Baxter.
Okay.
And then it's starting about 12:15. We are going to have the Veterans Pride Band, and they're a band out of Kettle Falls.
Well, we interviewed him.
Yeah, we did.
That's great. So he's going to play.
Yeah, Marvin O'Hearn, his band is going to play.
That's great.
So he also runs one of the coolest programs I have ever heard about. He runs he doesn't run the whole program.
The guitars.
But regionally, yeah, the Guitars for Vets program.
I know. It's awesome.
And what that is veterans diagnosed with PTSD as a form of therapy can get free music lessons, free guitar classes, and then after 10 lessons, they get a free guitar.
I know. I just think that's incredible.
And so their band's going to be playing. I believe they're past participants of the Guitars for Vets program.
Excellent. At Winterfest.
Yeah. They're going to be starting at about 12:15. And then after that, we have Two Stones, One Bird, of course, with our good friend Craig and Will and Rob. And
yes.
Always love having them play.
They're awesome.
And then we are going to have a very, very, very long set with a break in between with a band I'm very, very excited about. I think all of us are excited about the Groove Smoothies.
The Groove Smoothies.
The Groove Smoothies. And this is a band headed by TJ Hoops. He's played here locally a few times. They've been playing up at the ski hill a few times.
What style of music?
It's sort of like this sort of eclectic, sort of funky reggae jam vibe.
Nice.
And very, very great band.
Excellent.
Yeah, really looking forward to having them. So, of course, we've got great food. We've got beer garden. There's a chili cook-off.
Oh.
That we're excited about. So that's happening. The chili cook-off is going to be at the Senior Citizen Center.
Right. And now Nina's and Joe have the tie open on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yeah,
so there'll be people being there.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be fun.
It'll be a blast.
Yeah.
It will be a blast. And it's still up in the air about the Rail Jam. We still haven't. We announced yesterday that the Rail Jam wasn't going to happen, but it's not. Apparently, that wasn't finalized. I spoke a little too soon. But it's right now. It's up in the air. If we don't get any more snow by the end of the month, there's not going to be the ability to even build the Rail Jam. 49 can't risk right now. They can't afford to pull down their
snow. Right. They're snow makers.
So they need to have those running up there 24/7. And if we don't get a bunch of snow that's not in the forecast enough to build that ramp up, it's probably not going to happen. But there are some alternative fun plans. I do believe there's an awesome raffle that may happen if the Rail Jam doesn't happen.
Okay.
So
you'll keep everybody posted.
But you know what? Mother Nature can be cruel sometimes.
And awesome another times. But she's
true. So I think that just about takes us through our community calendar. And do you want to good morning, Nancy? It's good to see you. We'll get you set up after the break, Nancy. Don't worry about it. We're gonna take a break here in a little bit and listen to some news. And
how are you guys doing today?
we're great. We're great. Yeah. So just bear with us a few minutes and make yourself comfortable. And we're gonna take our break.
Take a break, and then we'll get you set up.
Yeah, just a little bit, and we'll get you set up.
Yeah.
So with that said, we might as well. Do you want to go ahead and take a little bit of an earlier break than usual? And,
sure.
And get things going. I think
let's do it.
Cleared through it for the day.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, kind of a light schedule in the calendar. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and listen to some news. We're gonna thank our sponsor. We might even throw an extra news story in there just to breathe and relax a little bit.
Well, is it a positive news story?
I don't know. I haven't listened to it.
Yeah,
of course it is.
Yeah,
sure.
we should work on that.
All right, everybody, don't go away. We'll be right back. The KCHW Morning Show with our guest today,
Nancy McCormick. Yep.
So stay tuned. Thank you guys for listening. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're listening to KCHW 102.7, your Northern Lights Public Radio.
Public News Service Daily Newscast for January the 15th, 2026. I'm Mike Clifford. The U.S. Senate voted 51-50 on Wednesday to effectively block a resolution that would have prevented President Trump from using military force in Venezuela without congressional approval. That after Trump flipped 2 Republican votes in recent days. That from NBC News. They report Senators Josh Hawley and Todd Young voted last week to advance the resolution to require Trump to seek prior approval, but after Trump attacked and pressured them, they flipped their positions and voted with most Senate Republicans to remove privilege under the resolution, all but sinking it in the chamber. NBC notes the vote broke 50-50, and Vice President J.D. Vance cast the tie-breaking vote to scuttle the War Powers resolution. Meantime, a bill awaiting a Senate vote would strip $500 million from abandoned mine reclamation projects across the country.
The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021 provided over $11 billion to states for abandoned mine reclamation over a 15-year period. Pennsylvania received a cut of around $245 million last year. Andy McAllister is with the Western Pennsylvania Coalition for Abandoned Mine Reclamation. He says decades of environmental restoration are at risk, and lawmakers should consider the critical economic benefits the funding brings.
Let alone providing these communities in the coal regions with jobs in areas that have seen a decline in jobs related to coal mining. So it's a good way to have those communities be put to work and earn money for their community.
Danielle Smith reporting.
And a majority of American adults express support for policies that protect transgender people from discrimination. But many in the trans community still struggle to find a job.
The Pew Research Center says the political climate has changed many people's views on transgender issues, although 56% of adults still support policies aimed at protecting them from discrimination in jobs, housing, and public spaces. Tony Newman leads California's Trans Can Work and assists some 100 trans individuals every month in finding employment.
We're not looking for free handout. We're not looking for anything else but what every other American needs is economic and financial security in 2026.
Newman says Trans Can Work seeks out companies willing to hire qualified transgender folks and then encourages them to post an open position on the nonprofit's job board. She notes they do not try to change a company's culture to be more accepting, but rather act as an intermediary service to help trans people find a job, achieve economic security, and maintain a healthy life. Transgender workers report unemployment at twice the rate of the population as a whole, and many who are currently working say they're underemployed. I'm Roz Brown.
This is Public News Service. As the Congress works toward a January 30th budget deadline, federal cuts have been proposed that would put nearly $7 million in nursing, education, and research funding at risk.
The U.S. House Appropriations Committee has moved to eliminate the National Institute of Nursing Research, as well as most Title VIII nursing workforce development programs. Lori Popejoy, dean of the University of Missouri Sinclair School of Nursing, warns that eliminating the National Institute would undercut the science that guides patient care.
That is the only institute dedicated to nursing research or understanding effective ways to deliver good quality care to patients. So cutting the National Institutes of Nursing Research is devastating.
Supporters of the cuts argue the changes are needed to rein in federal cost and shift responsibility for workforce training and education funding away from Washington, D.C. and towards states, individual universities, and health systems. Crystal Blair reporting.
And questions of wrongdoing within Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett's administration continue to plague his current term. Former Chief of Staff Thomas Cook is accused of using ties to his former boss to obtain a job at a well-known Indianapolis law firm.
He allegedly helped high-profile developer clients to secure city projects, some of whom were donors to Hogsett's 2023 re-election campaign. However, one expert says Hoosiers appear unfazed when confronted with this scandal. Brandon Rottinghouse, political science professor and author of the book Scandal, Why Politicians Survive Controversy in a Partisan Era, says social media and the 24-hour news cycle could be the reason.
The zone is completely flooded with information. People are overwhelmed, and so they retreat to their own tribal attitudes.
I'm Terry D. reporting.
Finally, animal welfare and farm advocacy groups say a bill moving through Congress would limit Ohio's ability to regulate how farm animals are raised, even if voters or lawmakers choose to act in the future.
The proposed Save Our Bacon Act would override voter-approved laws in more than a dozen states that restrict extreme confinement practices such as metal gestation crates for pigs, veal crates for calves, and battery cages for egg-laying hens. Alicia Prygoski, Strategic Legislative Affairs Manager with the Animal Legal Defense Fund, says the bill mirrors earlier failed efforts to weaken state animal welfare laws.
It really undermines the will of the voters who have said it is important to us to protect animals from this kind of treatment. It's important to us to ensure food safety and public health by prohibiting these practices.
Supporters of the bill, including the National Pork Producers Council, argue differing state standards restrict interstate commerce. Farah Siddiqui reporting.
This is Mike Clifford for Public News Service. We are member and listener supported, and you can find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
For the Daily Yonder and Public News Service, this is the news from rural America. The rush to build AI data centers has come to rural central Appalachia, where the demise of coal mining has flatlined the economy. The tech industry, data center developers, and fossil fuel companies are eyeing the landscape with ambitious plans to power the growth of artificial intelligence. Daily Yonder contributor James Branscombe says it sparked both hope and resistance.
Pro-development people are saying this is an awesome opportunity for us. These data centers are going to pay property taxes. They're going to employ a lot of people. It's going to finally bring prosperity.
Critics warn of environmental degradation, soaring utility bills, limited job creation, and the loss of local control. Branscombe says community groups fear governments are railroading projects through in spite of their impacts.
These folks are objecting to the water usage, they're objecting to the electricity usage, they're objecting to the noise these things make.
Global trade wars from President Donald Trump's tariffs have driven down farm commodity prices. Now, as Susanna Brown reports, farmers await a promised bailout.
A Chinese boycott of U.S. soybeans left farmers without a vital market for most of last year. That was devastating for South Dakota row crop farmer Gene Staley.
Tariffs, regardless of who puts them on, are really hard on agriculture. Anytime they start using my commodity as some sort of leverage, some sort of weapon, I'm the one that suffers, and this time is no different.
To ease the pain, USDA is paying $12 billion to barley, corn, soybean, and wheat farmers. They expect one-time payments between $30 and $45 per acre next month. Staley says it won't cover his losses or fix the underlying problems.
It'll help, but it won't make me whole.
I'm Susanna Brown.
There's a child care shortage in rural America. With no new federal funding or comprehensive reform on the horizon, states are trying novel solutions, from cutting costs to voluntary donations. Britton Stites is city attorney for Junction City, Kansas. He says conflicting state, city, and county ordinances can hamstring potential providers.
You always want policy and practice to meet, but sometimes the policy has to change to meet the practice.
In Alaska, certified home-based providers are critical for rural communities, but getting a license can be challenging. And in areas where homes lack reliable internet, many providers may have to travel hundreds of miles several times a year at their own expense to complete the necessary coursework. Stephanie Berglund leads THREAD, Alaska's child care resource and referral network. She says they're trying to speed up caregivers' licensing.
More and more communities are using the satellite internet, opening up a lot of access, especially to professional development, rural and remote Alaska.
For the Daily Yonder and Public News Service, I'm Roz Brown. For more rural stories, visit dailyyonder.com.
You're listening to Northern Lights Public Radio on 102.7 KCHW. Chewelah, Colville, Kettle Falls.
It's 8:07.
Your KCHW morning show is made possible by donations from
Colville Toyota. Colville Toyota, located at 160 West 3rd Avenue in Colville, offers new and used vehicle sales and service. Vehicle sales is open 8:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, with a Toyota Express Maintenance Center open 7:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. More information on Colville Toyota's vehicle inventory and services is available at colvilletoyota.com. A small-town dealership with a big heart.
And by Chewelah Flooring.
Chihuahua Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chihuahua Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Del Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at chihuahuaflooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at chihuahuaflooring@gmail.com.
Programming brought to you by Ryan Moore, your Edward Jones financial advisor in Deer Park, Washington. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Edward Jones is a firm that helps individuals and business owners achieve their financial goals. More information is available at edwardjones.com or by calling 509-276-2974. Edward Jones, member SIPC, with locations in Deer Park and Chihuahua.
This is KCHW 102.7.
Broadcasting from beautiful Chihuahua, Washington. This is Northern Lights Public Radio, KCHW 102.7.
Good morning. Welcome back to the KCHW Morning Show. I am still Chuck Ritchie, and I'm still here in the studio with my very lovely co-host, Gina Greenwood, and we have a great guest today. We have Nancy McCormick, an author, a local author here with us. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. How you doing?
Doing good. Got myself up and running
early.
Kicked my pets out of the way so I could get out the door.
Some days that's all you can do.
Yeah.
I realized as I was driving here, I've got a dog that's got a thing going on with his mouth, so we have to wet his dog food and heat it and make it soft, and I realized I left it in the microwave, so poor guy's going to be so hungry because no one else in the house is probably going to be up for another few hours. Yeah, good morning. So let's go ahead and get right into things. So you are an author, correct?
Yes.
Obviously. Tell us about the name of the book that we're here to talk about. I know this is one that you published a while ago, and you said you're working on the sequel for it.
Yeah. It's called Adventures in Underland. And Underland is when you're an unsupervised kid on the street a lot, you find out how things really work with men, and I would say, may seem cynical, but I would say half of men will go for a underage girl if they don't think they're going to be in trouble.
That's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
As a parent, that's terrifying.
Yeah. And my mother was dating our mobster landlord. So I found out how, now this is going back 40, 50 years, but how the New York City ran, the mafia was pretty much the government. Mm. Things didn't change unless the mafia boss changed.
Yeah.
And they called the shots, especially when it came to things like redlining. And, the Genovese family had stayed away from drugs, but then when the uncle died and the nephew took over, they brought in another mobster that just let it pour into the neighborhood. They let the red line go, so the white people moved further up into Queens, and they let Hispanics come into the neighborhood. Then they flooded it with drugs.
Yeah.
And like you said, the mafia, they ran the show, so it wouldn't matter who is in charge, right? But they really do run it, and you were educated about that. A lot of us don't understand, but it's pretty incredibly insightful when you're around it and you learn to maneuver, and you had a lot in your life.
It was educational.
Yes.
But it started out, my father was a really raging alcoholic. He died on a park bench.
Oh.
Wow.
And then my mom, I started having problems when puberty hit, and I didn't know what it all was. And I was PTSD. If it had been today, it probably would have been treated with meds and some therapy. But back then, it was like the tail end of mass institutionalization.
Yeah.
And
like you said, you share with us earlier that your mom, nowadays there's so much vast counseling available for people that are suffering from either PTSD or anxiety, especially the young folks.
Yeah.
It's just like you weren't allowed really to talk about it because hush, hush, right? Your mom didn't want a counselor to know what was really happening.
Bottle it up. There's nothing wrong with me.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she had a breakdown.
Wow.
So I wound up in group homes and psych wards, and she wound up in the psych ward I had been in.
Oh, my goodness. And you took care of your mom quite a bit as you were growing up.
Yes and no. I mean, she handled the money. She was good. Even when she was on disability, she handled it for the most part. My grandmother helped. But she was always, except for those couple of years where she was too out of it to work, she was a hard worker. She supported me. Everything I had, came from her. But I was her emotional support. I was her emotional support animal.
Right.
And
a lot of physical abuse with
that,
right?
I mean, no broken bones or black eyes, but it was a lot of slapping, a lot of emotional
trauma.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, I grew up, especially in the teen years, just trying to wing it. And
were you
teenagers are idiots.
What did you do as far as, did you do anything? I know you have an art background.
Yeah.
And so did you soothe yourself through writing? Because here you are an author. Did you write or did you draw? Or what did you do to cope? Was there your own coping skills that you...
Well, I did writing. I'd write song lyrics and poetry, short stories. But most of the time when it got too much to me, I found Times Square was like my happy place. You know, it was, you had your drug dealers and pimps and prostitutes, but they didn't, occasionally some pimp would try to get me working, but, I knew what was happening, so I was pretty immune to that stuff.
Was there a lot of live music at Times Square back in the day?
No, there was movie theaters that played double and triple features of action movies and horror movies.
Yeah.
So if I had the money, I would go sit in the movie theater. They'd close at like 4 in the morning and then open up again at 11.
Oh, my goodness.
And then when the movie theater would close, I'd go to the Port Authority and just people watch. It's bus terminal. I'd sit there. After a while, they didn't talk to me much, but the cops were aware of me and they kept an eye on me, and so did the vendors and all the shops in the place. So it was
what a place to people
sanctuary.
Watch, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes I'd try Penn Station or the Staten Island Ferry Terminal, but Times Square was where I liked to go.
Lots of action there.
Yeah.
Wow. What a childhood. So did you get involved? I mean, I don't want to. Again, I haven't read the book, but did you get involved in any kind of, I'm not going to say gang activity, but, a nefarious activity, falling in with the wrong folks, living in those kind of conditions or living in those areas?
My friends, they had their problems too, but I only had one friend that was a hardcore junkie. She, I was with her when we'd go to these places in Bedford-Stuyvesant, some of the worst neighborhoods, and she'd score, and then I'd watch her cook it and shoot up and nod and all the stuff that goes with it. But most of my friends, we mostly stuck to pot and a little bit of acid. But we didn't really get in trouble. You know, I had gone through a phase when I was maybe between 10 and 12 where I would shoplift or steal money from my mom, and I didn't want this stuff. I just did it for the little thrill of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after that, I didn't do that. I mean, I really didn't do much.
Mm-hmm.
But I would walk around all night because I couldn't sleep. This is when my mom was in the psych ward. Tried staying at my grandparents', but there was just everything had messed up so much, and it was too big for me to.
Right. Where did you? How old were you when your mom had to be admitted for a while?
She was admitted once while I was in the psych ward. I was in one. She was in another. And then when I got home, when I was 14, she got admitted again.
And where did you stay when she was?
I tried staying with my grandmother, but like I say, it was just. I had to be exhausted to be able to sleep.
To sleep. Mm-hmm.
So I remember walking around all night. I didn't have a belt, so I was holding my jeans up. And I'd go out barefoot. I wanted to feel the ground under me. Mm-hmm. And I could walk on broken glass on anything, and it didn't hurt.
Wow.
And sometimes there was one time there was a fair going on, and I got in a little trouble there. They were young boys. They were playing like they were going to gang rape me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dear.
But I started like screaming and punching and kicking, and they just laughed and let me go.
Wow.
If they'd have been a little older, it might have been more dangerous, but they were about my age, and I knew a couple of them from school.
Wow.
Well, it still sounds like a dangerous situation. And
dangerous
folks.
So you kept yourself where you said you can't sleep, and that hence going to Times Square and being out, going to theaters and be out and about. You just had to move that energy, right?
And have the energy moving around me.
Right.
I mean,
was soothing in an abstract way, right?
Yeah, I mean, even today, I'll go to the airport 3 hours early and
people watch
get through, what I have to get through, and then just sit and people watch, and I find it soothing. I'll sit there, read, and look around.
So, what inspired you to do your adventures in Underland? Just your life story, how you were how you grew up. What was the drive of your soul to want to write this book?
To help kids, adolescents and young adults that are just starting out, that come out of bad situations. I mean, foster children, they average 1 year homeless as adults, like 40% of them.
Wow.
And you reach out to the youth to this day, right? Are you involved?
I've done a lot of social service work. I've worked for mental health. I've driven foster kids. I've been a CASA. I worked with homeless people, and a lot of kids came through there. And they always put me with the teenagers because I could talk well with them.
Right, because you have relate.
So.
And you still do drive and do volunteer work. I know you take people to medical appointments and all kinds of different things.
Wow. So you're 14 years old and you're going through all this stuff, and so you said you sometimes were at your grandparents' house. Were you?
But mostly I was in my own apartment.
Wow. And then was this your mother's apartment that you were in together before she went into the hospital? Yeah. Okay. So was there? I mean, did you ever have any kind of like child services come and check on you, or were you just kind of on your own?
New York City back then was broke. I got picked up once on the subway for smoking, and they called the psych ward to talk to my mom, but she had just came from shock treatments.
Oh, dear.
So she was incoherent. And they called my grandparents, and my grandmother was hard of hearing, and her first language was Italian. So she didn't understand. So they called a neighbor, and the neighbor said that she was my aunt and I was staying with her. And then I just left. But social service that wasn't really into it. Cops picked me up a couple times. They dropped me at my grandparents'. I'd stay the night, and then I'd leave again.
Yeah. So did you have any issues with? I mean, how did you eat? How did you get food or take care of yourself during that time?
Towards the end, I didn't. My mom left me $60 when she went into the psych ward, and I thought she'd only be in there a few weeks, but she wound up in there for 4 months.
Wow.
And so when the money ran out and then the second month, all the food in the house was gone. So it was just, a friend would bring me a bologna sandwich, or the lady, the store across the street. But I had lost a lot of weight during that time.
Wow. And did you find anything to ever, do for work or?
I was so screwed up then, even thinking about working. There was a lady I used to walk the dog for her, and she'd give me a pack of cigarettes or buy me a couple of slices of pizza.
Wow.
So you have a love of rescue animals. You have a really passion for rescue animals, right?
Yeah, anything that's kind of helpless and, not taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and we talked a little bit about, therapy and what was the time period of this? What years about was this when all this was going on?
I went into the first group home, Geller House, over truancy.
Mm-hmm.
They put what they called a person in need of supervision charge, and that was in 76, January of 76. And then I wound up in 6 placements altogether between then and March of 77.
Wow.
The summer of 77 is when I was on my own. It was the summer of Son of Sam. It was...
And that was right there. That was right there in the heart of where you were.
Yeah. Well, he was more in Queens, but not far from where I was. And there was also when they had the big blackout in New York, and Bedford-Stuyvesant. They burnt down Broadway of Bedford-Stuyvesant. And there was a huge fire in Bushwick about a week later in the same heat wave. Because back then, kids couldn't get to, there were no city pools or anything nearby. So the kids would put the fire hydrants on.
Yeah.
And there wasn't enough water to go to the fire. So
Right.
it doesn't sound like a lot, but 4 square blocks in Brooklyn where it's all 3 to 8 family housing apartment
Very
building.
close.
So it was a lot of people. About 125 apartments were taken out, and stores and a church. And
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So again, going back, we talked about sort of the I guess the social stigma of and we've talked about this before on other shows too, of therapy back then. There was a lot of, I don't need a shrink. There's nothing wrong with me. Power tough through it, and it seems like a lot of those times, a lot of people's lives would have been changed if we'd have known a little more about the benefits of therapy, like we do now.
Yeah, and also Thorazine was the big drug back then.
Yeah.
And didn't really do anything to you except give you a lot of side effects.
Right.
I mean, my hair fell out. I couldn't be in the sun for more than a minute. My period stopped. I started lactating.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and it kind of just makes you comatose, right? I mean, you can't really...
Well, it drops your blood pressure so much. I was dropping into the 90s and 80s. I would get up and fall down because blood pressure drops. And it's nasty stuff. But then later on, my mom was, like I said, she was not functional for about 2 years. And then they finally tried her on a new class of drugs with Cinequan. They were serotonin reuptake blockers, and she got better.
So she pulled out of it.
Yeah, she pulled out of it. I mean, you can't give her a lot of credit. I went through a lot with her. She would get crazy. She'd tell me if I'd go out, she'd wait till I come home and fell asleep, and she'd kill me in my sleep and kill herself.
Oh my!
Wow.
And things like that. But
wow.
And this was before she went in, or after she came
after
back
she came out.
Oh, wow.
Going in didn't do anything for her. And she had always been a very neat woman. Very worried about her appearance, but during that time, she got that, they call it the Thorazine shuffle. And my friends would see her, and they're like, what happened to her? And I'm like, shock treatments. But she did pull out of it. She came back about 80%.
Yeah.
She was able to work, and enjoy things again. But she was never 100%.
Wow. And so you said she was actually dating somebody in the mafia.
Yeah.
Was that before or after all this happened?
Before, during, and a little bit after. And actually, the bad thing was he started molesting me while she was in the hospital and I was alone.
Wow.
But he was one of the only adults that knew everything that was going on, and so he'd come and he'd talk to her, and he was the one that could get her moving a little.
Right.
He'd shame her into cleaning the house and things like that, which is stuff that she had been very obsessive about before.
Right. What a childhood. So did you at some point, obviously your mom kind of pulled through this. By this point, after a couple of years, what are you, probably 16, 17 now?
Yeah.
What did it look like for you, sort of pulling yourself out of this and getting past this and moving on?
My mom pulled out of it enough to go back to work, but she would, like a lot of people with mental illness, they're feeling better. They don't think they need the meds.
Mm-hmm.
And she would go off, and then she would she held it together at work and in front of family, but she would have episodes at home around me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, a counselor had come to the house to talk with both of us, and she, when he wanted to talk to her, I went in my room, I put on my music. I mean, the apartments are small. They're railroad apartments. They're like one room after another.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But then when it was time for him to talk to me, she'd come out, she'd scream, she'd pull her hair, she'd roll on the floor. And he offered to, put me in a children's shelter that night. But I said, don't worry, she'll come out of it as soon as you leave.
Yeah.
And she did. And he
Wow.
tried to talk. I mean, it was actually kind of sweet because he had always asked me if I left home, this is when I'm like 16, what would I do? And I said, well, I'd go someplace warm where there's a beach and showers and, try to find work at night and sleep during the day, under a blanket or under shade.
Yeah.
And he offered to buy me a bus ticket anywhere I wanted to go as long as I didn't contact her anymore.
Right.
But I couldn't do that. But it felt good that he saw me enough to offer to do that for me.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So then now what does it look like when we move past there into your early adulthood? Did you stick around with your mom for a while, or did you?
No, I left when I was 19. I needed back surgery for scoliosis when I was 18, and I had to be on her insurance.
Okay.
And there was a lot of PTSD for both of us, and so everything felt like a trap for me. When I'd get a new job, like at a pinball arcade or something, she'd say, oh, you're going to do that for the rest of your life? She knew what buttons to push. And after a month or two, I'd quit, and because she didn't want me leaving.
Right, right.
But I finally wound up, they call them clubhouses for people with mental illness, and they have a really great one in New York City. It's been there since the 50s. It was started by a psychiatrist and 6 ex-inmates from Bellevue Hospital, which was the big psych ward in New York City. And they do it in baby steps. They get you coming there, working there for free and socializing, and then they put you in a part-time job.
And this is what you participated in, right?
Yes.
You started, okay, and it was a good one.
And they do it, a little at a time till you're comfortable, and then the goal is to eventually get your own job. They even have their own apartment program where you share apartments with other clients, and, well, they're called members, and then eventually you get your own. And it's a good program. I tried to get one going here, but there's a finite amount of mentally ill here, and so a lot of mainstream psychiatric programs don't want clubhouses because they don't want their chronically mentally ill to be able to function without
I was
them.
involved with our art center was involved with a pilot program.
Yeah.
Sand Canyon Clubhouse.
Yeah,
And
I used to work there.
Okay, I did art there with Orla for like many years. So
yeah,
it was amazing. So there's no nurse staff, doctor staff. It was all people who received mental health counseling.
Yeah.
And Steve Pack, who's passed over, he was the driver for Rural Resources. So he went Loon Lake all over. And then Kay Andrus, bless her heart, she's passed. Also, she donated the building. Right, you worked there. So
Yep.
one day was cooking, and then computer skills, and so people would come from all over. And we did the art program, and it was so amazing because when it first came, I have a affinity for people with mental challenges because I've helped with my brother in his life for many years. My family disowned him, so I have a certain compassion for people that need some extra help and also being treated like an incredible human with special gifts in a way, rather than disabilities, special gifts.
Yeah.
And so they were really shy at first, and then as they trusted us, through our art, which I believe music and art and all of that is incredibly healing. And so it was amazing. So they put together a show called No Boundaries, and 5 of our students were selected to do this traveling art show. It's called No Boundaries. And we took them on to the conferences overnight. It was really amazing. And it was this whole art traveling show that went to like 5 states. But it was the Sand Canyon Clubhouse. And so what did you, I didn't know you then, I guess.
No, I'd see you there sometimes.
Okay, so what did you do for work? What'd you do?
I was working when it was Stevens County Counseling, and I'd bring the van of clients from the counseling center over
to
there and
to
hang
the
out
clubhouse.
with them and then bring them back. They had community partners back then, and so I was a community partner.
That's excellent. I thought it was a great program.
So where was this program at?
It was a pilot. It was right there on Sand Canyon that I was involved. Right, but Kay Andrus donated the space. Was a separate from her home, but they had their own kitchen and a big
a little cottage.
Yeah, a little cottage.
Oh, that's
It was
what happened to the program? Did it just sort of
funding? I think.
Yeah, it's always the grants or what.
Yeah.
So if the next year's grant doesn't have funding for that and it has funding for something else, then it gets discontinued.
Yeah, it was a great program, though.
But I tried to do a more expanded one of it, but I couldn't get it off the ground.
Did you try to write grants for it?
They had the grant for it, but I was trying to get it where I could bring the clients, maybe help the county keep the parks clean, or the city keep, weed the parks, or do, clerical work like fold pamphlets and send them. But they kept saying, oh, we're county, we can't do that stuff. So I tried doing things for charity. But eventually, they kept the clubhouse going for about a year, and then it closed down. And
so when you were in the clubhouse back when you were involved, so were you there for quite a while? It really helped you and get yourself.
Yeah, I was there for a couple of years.
So we're back to the clubhouse in New York.
Yeah, in New York.
And I did messenger work for Newsweek. We had clients working for the Village Voice, for Bloomingdale's,
right.
Just the more menial jobs, high turnover jobs.
And how old were you at that point?
I was in my early 20s. Now, this book ends when I'm 19, and I just started Fountain House. As I got older, my adult relationship with my mom was pretty good, except she still had the problem about going off the meds. And
so when you found the Fountain House, what did you start when you were 19?
I started going in there. It's like...
Is that what it was called, the Fountain House?
Yeah, it's like coaxing timid woodland creatures. They'd say, come in, a couple hours a week. They had just opened a snack bar on the top. They had built a top floor and then put a snack bar in there for the younger clients. And so that was where I worked in the house. And then what they would do is they go to the community. They say, okay, give us one or two of your part-time jobs. Our staff will learn the jobs and we'll make it So we'll have a client in there in the morning and a different one in the afternoon. And if they don't show up, one of our staff will fill in for them.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it. And then they keep you in there for 2 to 4 months and then switch you to another job. They did have a little problem with, for messenger work especially, that the client, they would keep the clients. They would hire them as full-time employees, which was good, but then the program lost those jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
For the people who are getting their feet wet, smaller scale.
Yeah.
Now, is that primarily for mental disabilities or
Yes.
physical as well?
And at that time, like I said, this was at the tail end of mass institutionalization.
Right,
I mean, one of the institutions I was in was a state-run. It was just like you'd see in the movies, the old-fashioned bars on the window, all dull colors. And it was all us teenage girls in there. And everybody was diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic.
That was like a blanket diagnosis.
Blanket diagnosis. The doctors almost never saw you. And it was funny because I was reading to see that those wards are gone now for the kids. The adult wards are still there, and they're still doing the same thing, calling everybody paranoid schizophrenics without seeing them.
It's kind of like the new. I just had the word in my head, but the hysteria back in the day, they used to all the women, they'd always give them the hysteria diagnosis.
Yeah.
And it was just sort of the blanket, basically we can't deal with this woman, we're going to call her, say she has hysteria and lock her away.
How did you get out?
I had pretty much given up, but after 5 hearings, you're entitled to court by jury. So the court-appointed attorney came and he says, do you want to do a court by jury? And I just figured it'd be another day out. You look for any distraction. So I said, yeah, okay. And the jury voted me out.
So
to be released, right?
Huh?
I mean, this sounds almost prison-like. I mean,
it is. It is.
So you're locked up against your will.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to leave on your own.
Nope. I mean,
yeah. So the jury. So you're saying that jury released. They went to your. I don't know the right word, but were you released then because of the jury's decision?
I was released that day. I was surprised
because you were able to articulate what how they could see that you're a capable person. And
no, they didn't put me on the stand. It was just a lot of people talking about me. But now here's the thing: there's also a racial component to it, because now the really bad place I was in, it was almost all black kids, and they never got out. They would either age out into the adult psych ward, or some of them would go into programs to help them, because these are kids that had never been to a grocery store or paid a bill or anything. So they would put them in programs, or some they'd release on the street. And because I was a pretty white girl, and my attorney kept telling me, smile, the jury likes that. I think that was part of why I was let out.
Because you were white.
Yeah, because all the other kids, they just wound up in there till they were 17, 18.
Wow. So what did you do when you got out? Is that when you...
I went home to Mom, and then Mom started falling apart. Again, yeah. And so I was released in March. By summer, she was back in the psych ward.
And this again, you were about, 18?
No, I was 14 when I was let out.
This was early. Okay, I got you.
But
wow, what a journey you've been on.
When I was 18, 19, and then this program, they had a lot of people that had been in psych wards most of their lives, like they're 50, 60 years old. And they'd been in 30, 40 years. They had tardive dyskinesia, which is side effects that you get from psychotropic drugs. After a while, they don't go away, even if you stop the drugs.
Right.
But they got them working. They got them working in the house. Some of them got their driver's licenses. Many people, they had to stay connected to Fountain House for most of their lives, but they lived more independently. And were happier. They were social. than people that didn't get those kind of services. I'd seen 2 girls that I'd been inside with after I left there as an adult, and one of them was homeless on the street, just sitting barefoot against a wall crying. The other one, I was working with homeless people, and she came in looking for shelter.
Wow. So at what point in your journey did you sort of make the switch from receiving, I guess we could call it help, especially later on, to offering the, to giving back and to volunteering and to working back on the other side of the industry?
It happened slowly, like I said, everything felt like a trap. So I would only stay in a job for a couple of months. I'd only date for a couple of months, or stay in a furnished room or roommates in an apartment. Because in New York, when you're broke, that's about the only way you could live, is either in some rooming house where you share the bathroom with 20 other people, or with a bunch of roommates. And I started at a movie theater, and this movie theater, they played old movies and art movies, classics, but it was right on 8th Avenue, 47th Street, and there was a gay porn theater upstairs owned by the same
theater
boss.
people.
And he would have a lot of teenage prostitutes come in, male prostitutes. And so I get to know them, and they were mostly nice kids, but they were on the street. They got involved in drugs, and AIDS hit right around that time.
Yeah.
And so I stopped thinking like a kid, where sex with adults was just the price you had to pay to get a place to sleep or, something to eat, to where I'm thinking as an adult now, like, how dare they abuse these kids?
Right, absolutely.
Right, exactly.
And so eventually I found an apartment on Staten Island where I started, and they had a homeless program there, Project Hospitality, and they were looking for people to work at an outreach center that was a mobile home in an abandoned Coast Guard base by the ferry. And so I started working with homeless people. And it was rough because I was still dealing with my own stuff, but it felt good to try to help alcoholics off the street. Because one of the saddest things, and it's in my book, was watching my dad go downhill. Him and my mom would go at it, but he was always kind to me, never hit me, rarely ever yelled at me. And, just watching him, especially the last year after he tried to strangle my mom. Wow. So she finally got separated from him, and he was just so despondent. It was his first time ever totally on his own. And
just went way downhill.
Yeah, his feet swelled up where he couldn't wear shoes anymore. And he was down to maybe 110 pounds when he died.
To witness that was heart-wrenching.
And so like the swelling in the feet, that was probably all alcohol related.
Well, his liver was gone, and he had rheumatic heart most of his life, and so his heart was gone. And he had a room up on the 3rd floor of a rooming house, so he couldn't always make it up and down the stairs, so he'd sleep on the bench in the park across the street.
Wow.
Because he couldn't make the stairs.
Yeah, and he just died in his sleep.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now what about your mom? What became of your mom after,
She worked till she was about 63, and then computers came out, and she always got so scared about learning new things. And she decided, I'm old enough to take partial Social Security, and I got a small pension, so she quit. Probably not the best thing for her. She became the bird lady of Lower Manhattan. She'd bring food for the sparrows and sit in Battery Park till they would perch on her hand. Yeah. And so, she's probably famous all over Japan because the Japanese tourists would come and take pictures of her
with the birds on her finger.
Wow.
Yeah, and then when I moved out here after a year, I had learned one of the things my counselor taught me was boundaries with her.
Right.
So I became more of her social worker, her case manager. I'd make sure she had an apartment and she had doctors and transportation and all the things. And I would go see her every Sunday and take her out or bring her over to my house. My husband was really good with her. And she'd still go on and off the meds.
Did you meet Steve in New York?
Met Steve in New York.
Her husband, I knew her husband. He's passed over. But you guys were, then you were together for many years.
Yeah, we were together almost 25 years.
And he was kind to your mom.
He was great to my mom, and he was a good buffer because when she was going off, I just couldn't deal with her anymore because it just would put me right back to where I was when I was 14.
Absolutely.
And I'd even tell her, I said, I can't take her in because I'm afraid I'm going to hurt her.
Right.
I never had, but it was just she would get to me so much. So she eventually got Alzheimer's on top of the mental illness, and she wound up in 5 different adult family homes and nursing homes because she used to slap me a lot when I was a kid, slap me in the face. Well, with the Alzheimer's, she got slappy with the other clients. At one point, they had remanded her to Eastern State Hospital, and she was this shaky old lady, and the sheriff's deputy came in with like chains and shackles and stuff for her. And I just looked at him and I said, no, she's got osteoporosis. If she pulls on the chains, she'll
break something.
She'll break something. Mm-hmm. So they brought her in, and I took my little dog with me because my mom loved that little dog, and it was really good, and it would calm her. So the sheriff wouldn't let me ride with her, but he'd let the dog ride with her. And so I followed him down to Eastern State, and by the time we got there, the deputy was like, yeah, she's interesting. She would ask me every 2 minutes, where's my daughter? Where are we going? What are we doing? And then she'd ask again, like the whole hour-and-a-half trip down to Eastern. So, yeah, he got it back. But he was good. He did what he was told to do, but he tried to be as nice as possible.
Wow. So you mentioned multiple times about, growing up and going through these experiences, everything felt like a trap. Obviously, there were a lot of trust issues. Did you ever, did you have a long period of trying to work through and be able to start to trust people after all this, or did you?
Well, it just happened eventually. Eventually, I could stay for a year on the job and stay with a year with a guy. There was a lot of people that helped me. I wasn't afraid of all people, but I just felt so weird in a office situation because I thought mental case was stamped on my forehead,
Right.
And even though I looked presentable, they put me in a lot of the office jobs because I was one of the few that knew how to touch type. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I was able to learn the CRTs, the old CRT. This is how old I am. The old DOS system. I was able to learn, how to do it.
Right.
But it just took time just for all that to wear off. Eventually I stayed in same place for a few years. I even have a goddaughter. A roommate that I had before, she had gotten pregnant, and she needed someone to stay with her to help with the rent. So I, helped raise my goddaughter for a few years, which was really nice. And then I met Steve. And
how did you meet Steve?
We were a setup.
Oh.
I had just left a person I refer to as Psycho Plumber in South Carolina. I drove back I just got my license, and I drove from South Carolina to New York, which was interesting. And my friends put me up, and my one friend was in AA, and he knew Steve from there. Mm-hmm. And so, the first thing, now Psycho Plumber had been a Vietnam vet. Mm-hmm. And he didn't smoke, he didn't drink or anything, but he just had all the markings of they call them dry drunks in the rooms where you're not drinking, but you have all the attributes of an alcoholic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all the alarm bells were going off when they told me about him. Vietnam vet, was an alcoholic. He's been dry for 2 months. But we met and we just clicked. It wasn't like Well, it was like, oh, there you are. It wasn't like, oh, I found the person I want. It's like, okay, there you are. What took you so long?
Oh.
Right.
And we were together. We got a place together within a
New
month.
York, right?
I hedged my bets. I got something I could afford on my own, so if he turned
Right.
into a jerk, I could kick him out. And he kept his. He had a furnished room that was really cheap, so he kept it. But after 4 months, we moved in, and we got married after 2 years.
And what
we
brought you to
figured,
Chewelah?
well, if we
How'd
were
you
going
guys
to
get-
do anything stupid, we figured before we have kids, let's. Because New York is fun when you're single, but when you're trying to have a family, it's crowded and expensive.
Mhm.
yeah.
He had a good job, but it was hard for him to stay sober because he was working as a track worker, which is a heavy physical job, and the guys were, they worked hard and they play hard, and
Yep.
so it was hard.
That's psycho.
And so we moved out to Washington State. We picked up Route 2 in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. It ended in Everett, and we pulled off the highway and just said, okay. So we stayed in Everett for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came out with Harry Riverbottom. We met him. We had a flat. We took
mutual
a
friend.
Harley to a Tom Petty concert, and we got a flat. A tent spike went through the tire, and Harry Riverbottom picked us up.
Awesome.
And he helped us get the bike fixed. We went to the concert, and we became friends, and we came out here to see Harry. We met you and some other folks,
Many moons
and,
ago.
you're the one that said, well, if you're spinning the wheels out there, you might as well spin your wheels here, where it's a nice place.
It's a good place to spin your wheels.
Yeah.
Well, it was a lot lower cost of living, and so within a couple of years, we were able to buy a place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's how we got here.
That's kind of why we're here. It was
It's
a place
awesome.
we could afford.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Wow.
it's awesome.
So yeah, and gosh, I
And-
can imagine getting out of New York. That was, especially as you're getting into this relationship and getting married and finally able to start your life. The thought of getting married and trying to raise a family and the conditions you were raised in was probably not something you wanted to do.
But physically, I couldn't have a kid.
Okay.
It turned out, so I wound up not having kids. I tried to be a foster parent, but now my mom was in her 70s and getting Alzheimer's, and they didn't want to give me a foster kid because they
Right.
said, well, if you did, you couldn't bring your mom around them. And I'm like, I'm not going to leave her alone for holidays and
Right.
stuff. So that didn't work out. So I became a dog and cat parent.
Hey,
They're great.
As an owner of 3 dogs, I understand.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we only have a few minutes left in the show. I really want to thank you for coming and sharing your story. This has been incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have the book over at the Yale Press coffee
Okay.
shop.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
Yep. Adventures in Underland.
Yes.
You can
and-
hold. Can hold up. Can you hold this up
Yeah,
to the camera?
yeah, I will. And I did. I looked it up a few places. Tell us, is it available online anywhere? I looked up a few places.
Right now, it's not being supported online. It's because it wasn't selling, and I had let but I can
There you are.
restart it. If it starts selling around here, then I could restart it online.
15, right? $15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could give out my cell phone number if people want, or is that not?
If you want, that's up to you. It's your phone number, but
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
okay, yeah, go ahead.
I have some copies at home. It's 509-936-2734.
Yeah.
And then the Yale Press has a few copies.
Yes,
so you
and
can
the
always
Yale Press, and I
replenish.
could always put more there.
And I was going to say, I found it on Amazon, actually. Your book is available on Amazon, but it's listed at $55.
No wonder it don't sell.
So you might want to contact them
and say, wait a second.
Yeah, readjust that.
I think they did it because it was out of print, so they thought, well, yeah, now it's a collector's item.
Right?
Yeah.
So what in your walk of life here, is there a place that you really feel a resonance towards for young people to get involved in that need some help in any way? It doesn't have to be like mental, but like therapy, or is there anything that you feel strongly about that feels right that's happening in our area?
Well, they do have good counselors at New Alliance.
Yeah, New Alliance. Mm-hmm.
And there's also others, independent counselors. And I really strongly suggest that as the first, when a kid's having problems, try to nip it in the bud.
Yep.
And there really isn't a lot here for kids. That's the sad thing. I mean, sometimes a little medication can help, but small amounts because it messes with you.
And I really knew very deeply how the art center that we had really was helpful because there's not that right now.
Yeah.
I try to reach out and do, the kids area at the Colonel program on Fridays at the market, but also I'm going to want to get involved. I still go into the schools when I can, but I really want to somehow get a group of people together. Maybe you'd be one that would be interested, and maybe do some some art. Art is great therapy, and I know we can do it at the Huff Center. I'm sure we could rent space there, but if anybody's interested in coming on board, because that's how it's always how it is for me. I like to work collaboratively with people, and I know you're learning guitar, right?
Yeah,
How's that going?
Well, I wish I would have done it 40 years ago because my hands were a lot nimbler back then.
Right.
So I'm doing guitar and keyboard
right?
over COVID. Started doing more. So the keyboard's going pretty good.
Oh, good. And you're enjoying it.
Yeah, and I enjoy the guitar, but I'm not going to be on stage anytime soon.
But you sing karaoke?
Yeah, sing karaoke, and I even got voice lessons because the same guy he would do different
voice lessons for you too, huh?
Yeah.
That's incredible. And I wanted to, again, we only have a couple minutes left in the show here. You're working on a sequel to this, correct?
Yep, I've been writing it in longhand, which has always been my process. Even in college, I would write things down longhand, and then I do my editing when I type it up.
Excellent.
So, yeah, and I thought it wouldn't bother me as much being that I was an adult, because it was hard to write.
Right.
My husband would tell if I'd been writing too long by the look on my face. But it's pretty painful. So, I'm writing it, but it's hard to write when no one else is going to read it, but it is therapeutic.
Right.
How long did it take you to write this book?
A couple of years.
But how to relive those memories, I'm sure it was.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like time travel. I mean, what kids do is they could tell you traumatic memories like they're reading off a grocery list.
Right.
Because you're not really putting yourself there. But when you sit there and you're trying to remember the smells, the sounds, the textures, the muggy nights in New York City, you feel all gritty and stuff, like the song. Yeah. And it puts you back there. And I've had memories coming back to me since the book that I had forgotten about as a kid.
Yeah.
Things like being left in a hot car when I was 2.
Yeah.
Or some guy trying to kidnap me when I was 6 when I was in the park.
Wow.
It was, it just opens up all kinds of stuff.
And through any of that, did you do that off of memory, or did you, when you were growing up, did you do any journaling or any of that you were able
No,
to
I
look
did
back
it
on?
off of memory.
Yeah.
I have a trippy memory, like I may not remember what I had for breakfast, but I can remember, I know I have a couple of like little snippet memories from when I was like a year and a half.
Oh, yeah.
And by the time I was 2, I was having full memories.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what I had for dinner last night, but I still remember my high school locker combination.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's still in there.
Well, I'm so grateful that you're here in Chewelah. What a lovely town we have here.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. People are so wonderful.
I used to picture being in a place like this when things were bad at home. I used to hope like I could walk through a door and I'd be somewhere like this, like Dorothy.
There you go.
Yeah.
You made it.
You made it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very much happy to have you on the air, sharing your
now
story.
I'm gonna have to read your book.
Yep.
And,
okay.
Let us know if you ever get that other book out, and we'll, or when you get that other book out, and we'll have you back on. And
definitely
love to have the collection.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having me on.
That's great.
Yeah, no problem. So that's Nancy McCormick. Her book is available at the Yale Press, or again, you can contact us. We can get you in touch with her, or
or 50. I'll live dangerously. 509-936-2734.
There you go.
And we can write it down for Chuck to have it too. So if you didn't get that number, you can call the radio station and we'll get it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
well,
you.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
in, and thank you guys for
It's awesome.
listening.
Yes.
This has been the KCHW Morning Show right here on KCHW 102.7. You can stay tuned right here tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. for Pretty Static with Leah B. 8 to 9 p.m. is Kelton a Twist. Then from 9 to 11 is Acoustic Cafe. And be sure to join in tomorrow morning because we're doing a special live broadcast.
They're going up to the
from
ski
49
hill.
Degrees North Mountain Resort.
Oh,
I know,
we're
right?
We're going to be
So
broadcasting
fun.
live from the Boomtown Bar.
Yeah, that's great.
Careful on the stairs.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a fun one. We're looking forward to
Yeah.
it. Our
That's
second,
awesome.
Second annual morning
Live
show
on the
broadcast
air at the
from
49 degrees north.
Mountain Resort. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. Well,
So
thank
good.
you guys. You have a good one.
Take
All right,
care.
You too. Thank you guys out there so much for listening. Again, this has been KCHW 102.7, your Northern Lights Public Radio. Say goodbye, everybody.
To be continued.
Bye, everybody.
So this was